Well, WWE had its version of Black Friday, and it wasn't about a big sale. It was about getting rid of some of their talent that they haven't been doing a whole lot with, but probably should have done something with some of them. And then we'll also get into the happenings of this week on WWE SmackDown. This is the first SmackDown following WrestleMania. Did they deliver just like Raw did? We'll find out here in this episode. Well, welcome back to Wrestling Brother Talk Smack. I am your host, Jarvis Sam. And with me today, we got MVP. And of course, we've got the owner, the founder of Triple Threat Wrestling,
What's
Travis.
going on?
How you guys doing?
Pretty good.
It's been a
It's
minute.
been a hot minute since the three of us have been together.
Yeah.
Now we got to talk about all these wasted
Well, let's
cuts.
get into it. Yeah, and the first thing you got to think about when you think this happens every single year, right? We get this. At least I've noticed it ever since the pandemic. It's like after WrestleMania and then maybe after SummerSlam, you get everybody that hasn't been used in a storyline or they feel it needs to be written off. They send them packing, and every year there's people that you look at it and you're like, okay, I get it. They should have been cut. They haven't done anything with them. And then you always have one or two head scratchers, the Braun Strowmans. And this year, I'll start off hot with Alistair
It's
Black.
such a crazy cut.
How do you not have anything for Alistair Black?
The problem with this one,
And this is his
real quick, I was going to say the problem with this one is that he was great until they tried to make him Karrion Kross with his wife. And that is what
right.
made it, what do we do with him? Because that kind of character, you can only do
Right.
so many things. They should have just let him cook on his own.
Exactly.
But that's my thought.
But this is his second time with the company. They cut him a while back. This is almost like the Braun Strowman, where they had him and they cut him and they bring him back and they cut him again. And they paired him up with Zelina, who also got released. I thought it was finally going to work. It was said that they were supposed to be in the Randy Orton, Cody Rhodes thing. They were supposed to be the ones in Randy Orton's ear, but TKO said it'd probably be a better idea to give this role to Pat McAfee. MVP, what are your thoughts on Alistair Black and Zelina Vega?
I definitely could have done more with them. I mean, his return to the company almost a year to the day was hot, and then like Travis said, turn him into Karrion Kross, and then he suffered the same fate as Karrion Kross and Scarlett.
Yep.
Played the role to a T.
Yeah.
Yep. Well, I'll go down the rest of this list and then, obviously we'll hit the highlights. But in addition to Alistair Black and Zelina Vega, we had Kairi Sane, Apollo Crews, Motor City Machine Guns, Santos Escobar, every member of the Wyatt Six, Alba Fire, Andre Chase, Dante Chen, and Zoe Stark.
Yeah. Plus, there's a bunch of MVP. You're the local resident, know all of the unders,
dude,
but like Tyson DuPont and Tyreek Igwa, all these people got cut.
So most of them, if maybe were on Evolve.
Oh yeah.
No one watches Tubi.
No one watches Tubi.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Dante Chen, hasn't seen him in a long time, so I mean, it'd been cool to have Asian representative.
Yeah.
Yeah. Obviously Apollo Crews, backstage segments
He just came
rarely
back.
used.
First team all catering.
Yeah. One that was really surprising though was Kairi Sane.
She's in a storyline.
Mid storyline.
She's in a storyline. With by the way, if they would have pulled the trigger on Io and Asuka at Mania and Kairi turned face, that would have been the biggest pop of the night of that show, probably.
Yeah.
Right. But then where do you go with Kairi Sane after Asuka's over, after she's done with Asuka? Like, literally, where would you go?
I know. Well, there's a lot of people who say, where
And
would
I
they?
think that's where, and that's where they have to write her. Like, it's where are you going to go with her? You got Io Sky. It's they're calling up people, and that's the thing with these releases. They have to. They kind of got to be strategic, because at the same time, this is where you're bringing up your NXT people. And so, when I think about, basically, the Secret Harvest is going to be over, because now Alba Fire is gone, right? And then we don't know when Dewdrop is coming back, or Piper Niven, whatever she's going by. We don't know when she's
Dewdrop.
coming.
What a name.
So so now, if you're calling up Fatal Influence, they're pretty much filling in that other heel
Yeah.
trio vibe, because you already have Jade, Cargill, and the baddies. And then, so it kind of, and then you got so many women's tag teams, so it kind of makes sense. And who are you doing the least with? Chelsea Green doesn't need the Secret Harvest. She's as talented as you get from a microphone standpoint, and her antics, she can stand alone. So it kind of makes sense in that regard. Again, Kairi Sane, where is she going to pivot to? You're going to put her against Rhea Ripley at some point? No, it's just it's not going to be there. I mean, I guess you can put her in the Intercontinental or the U.S. title scene, but I think she would be just treated as main event talent. And when I say main event, I don't mean like going on last. I mean main event that's now on
Yeah.
YouTube. That's what So it's not going to be that. The other one that jumps off the page to me is the Wyatt Six, and probably not for the reasons you think. That the gimmick was going nowhere, right? They had this never-ending rivalry with the MFTs, who I'm surprised all of those guys were safe, because JC Mateo and Talatanga and Tamatonga, and like these they're not doing it. The only one that they're doing something with is Tamatonga. That's literally the only, you can tell he's the only one that has a plan. Everybody, they're trying to tell a small story with Talatanga, because Solo was like, I gave him the night off. That's what he said tonight about, because I guess the whole Royce Keys winning the Andre the Giant Battle Royal happened. So they kind of faced off. And so it was like, it was kind of down to those two, but you knew it was going to be Royce Keys. So they're kind of trying to build a program there, but that's something that I'm not even sold that Royce Keys is going to be around this time next year. But they jump off the Wyatt Six jump off the page because they were so misutilized. One, you don't load them up with the right people to begin with. I like the Loomis, but when you have access to Alexa Bliss, why would you not go with Alexa Bliss, who had the history with the Wyatt family, who's a much better, like, overall talent, and put her in there? If you want to leave Nikki Cross with her, fine, but Alexa Bliss should have been in there.
Yeah.
They had Braun Strowman, another original Wyatt family. Well, he wasn't an OG Wyatt, but he added on with the original Wyatt family. It would be very easy to pivot him in that group as well. Now you have legitimate people, and now Uncle Howdy doesn't have to be the main guy. He can be what he was to Bray, kind of the sidekick, if you want to call
Yeah.
it. And he could have still played, and that would have made everything stronger, because now you have that main event talent. But then, even with them miscasting him, when they first debuted him, they felt special.
Yeah.
But again, what made them start to not feel special with not having real main event talent in there was the lack of a main event person. But now you're putting them in the ring too much, and you put these supernatural characters in the ring with it just, and then they don't win sometime. It's weird, because these are supposed to be like zombies or whatever, and so it just, once they got in the ring, the aura of this dissipated, because they didn't feel like a threat outside of the tag division, or maybe the mid card scene. And so it was almost like if you wanted to do the Wyatt Six with these characters, you almost need to call them down to NXT and have them get talent in NXT over if you're going to do that. So it was a big. So I mean, while it sucks, it probably needed to happen.
Yeah.
Bo Dallas is never, as Uncle Howdy's never going to be in the main event or anything like that. And I think I heard you say it before, Travis. Like, if you're the leader of a faction, you should be able to hold it down in the main event. I don't see Uncle Howdy facing off against Roman Reigns. I don't see Uncle Howdy facing off against Cody Rhodes. Maybe at a house show, if they still did those, you could maybe do that. But there's no way without testing something. And that's the other thing. There's no house shows, so it's hard to give this talent the reps it needs to actually work and see what gets over in front of the crowds. What are y'all feeling about this Wyatt
So,
Six?
Matt, you go first because I'm gonna go on a rant here. So you go ahead.
Okay. You brought up Braun Strowman. I mean, yeah, definitely with the main event cachet to his name, but I guess he was too busy eating everything on the menu.
Yeah. A nice little call up to the show he's doing. Yeah.
I think he had to go find some work afterwards. I think he had to find some work, and he did.
Yeah, Alexa Bliss. I could just imagine that dynamic with Nikki Cross, them capturing the women's tag titles, so they'd have both sets of
Right,
tag
right, right.
titles. That dynamic could have worked nice. Joe Gacy, he was leader of the Dyad down in NXT. Other than that, I mean, Rowan really hasn't done anything without Harper, but then
Yep.
now that's impossible because rest in peace,
Yes.
he's not here
Yes.
with us. Yeah, they were just kind of just dragging along back and forth the MFTs. Like you said, the leader needs to be like a main event type guy. Bo Dallas, the closest thing was when he was
NXT,
NXT champion a long time ago when he was trying to
different
make everyone
character.
believe.
Yep.
Yeah. Too much exposure, especially like you said, the supernatural group. I mean, they came out hot. Everything backstage, everyone was taken out, blood shed.
Yep.
It was
Yep.
awesome. And then they kind of homogenized themselves by just showing up too often.
Yep.
Yeah. There really was. They were on borrowed time, especially.
Yeah.
I mean, without Bray there, this is more maybe a tribute that lasted too long.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. So the first thing I want to bring up is with WWE, like we can blame a lot of the decisions on TKO and it's really out of Triple H's hands, but a lot of the booking, like for example, the Wyatt Six is 100% Triple H's fault because when they come in, okay, they, like Matt just said, they took everyone out. They're bloodied up. Who did they take out? People that screwed over their families or the groups they were in. If they would have stayed on that path, have Alexa Bliss in that group so she can go up to the main event level, like a Charlotte Flair who has maybe screwed over people. That's what that group should have been. Is like the homage to Bray Wyatt is like we have to cleanse the people of their sins. They got wrapped up with the MFTs and then that was game over. They didn't know what to do with them after that because they're like, well, they're a faction and they're a faction. Let's have them brawl. The problem is there's 5 guys in the MFTs. There's 4 in the Wyatt Six and a woman, and she never got to do anything because what is she going to do? Fight Tama Tonga? Like she's not going to fight Tama Tonga. So that's one of the decisions that if you would have just stopped overthinking it and you're like, okay, we introduced them to one of the hottest things we've seen in so long, and it could have been special. Now you don't have to have Bray or Bo Dallas go after like a main event title, but the leader of a faction should be a singles champion, even if it's the US title. And then you have the other guys like be tag teams or whatever. With the rest of this cut list, the problem is like a Kairi Sane and all that. You're eliminating all these people that you like don't know what to do with. Eventually, all you're going to have is main event talent. So who are they going to beat to squash? Like Apollo Crews would be a great guy for like Trick Williams to squash on a Friday Night SmackDown. All you're going to have are these main event people, and someone's going to suffer every week because someone has to lose. It can't just be no DQs every single match. So these are a lot of like the Wyatt Six. Like you take Bo Dallas out, he could be in the U.S. title picture because he's the leader of the faction. Same with Solo Sikoa. But the rest of the Wyatt Six could be like, not saying jobbers, but they could be like stepping stones to just win matches. Like Obafemi, for example, he could be beating half of these guys to just show him off every week, and he don't have to hurt anyone else's character in the main process, right? So that's a lot of my rant on that part. But the Wyatt Six was horribly misused, and I don't think they're a group that TKO overly cared about. That was a Triple H thing, like on that creative level.
Yep. But you know, when you kind of look at the rest of the list, I mean, Motor City Machine Guns. I mean, who gave a shit, bro? Like they can't. You know, I remember I posted a video and I called them like the mid card machine guns or something like that, and all the marks were like, oh, they're amazing. Don't disrespect them like that. They're gonna blah blah blah. They're the best tag team and all that. Cool. That's not what I'm seeing of them in WWE. I understand what they did in TNA. I understand. I truly do. But what they were getting in WWE was not that. And you know, when I think, and so when I think about people like Motor City Machine Gun, even Santos Escobar, like he's got a star. He's got a star written all over him. Sometimes letting him go is the best thing for them, because if you're in creative purgatory, like it doesn't matter. It really doesn't matter. If WWE creative, like you're better off having the option to go to AEW. You're better off having the option to go to TNA, go back to New Japan, or to some indie promotion where you can get reps and show who you are and really, you know, be that person. Because when you think about like Alistair Black is if he went to like TNA, he's shooting right up to the top of the card. He's a TNA world champion. Like there's no ifs, ands, or buts about it, right? So if you don't have anything for him, let him fly away. These people are going to find work. And you know, there's going to be a lot of fake outrage with the IWC over the next, you know, 48 hours. But then when Obafemi comes out on Raw, no one's going to give a shit anymore. You know, it's just what it is. So these people are all going to find probably something better. Not just are they going to find something, they're going to end up in a better situation because of how they were been cast. Bo Dallas, and or they can contribute better. Like Bo Dallas can definitely go somewhere and contribute. You know, it's fine. You know, again, we're gonna see Santos Escobar on the top of somebody's card very, very soon.
Yeah. Real quick with the Motor City Machine Guns. Here's the problem. Now, I did a power ranking video a few weeks ago, if you guys remember that, where I power ranked the tag team division. There's only 10 tag teams in the entire WWE. So again, Motor City Machine Guns would be that resident, like, veteran tag team that can be utilized to get other tag teams over. How is Garza and Berto still around? We're going to get rid of Motor City Machine Guns. We're going to keep Garza and Berto that barely has seen TV this entire year. The issue is by getting rid of Motor City Machine Guns and the Wyatt Six, you have no choice but to unify these titles. If you really want to give a damn about the tag team division, you don't have tag teams to compensate for two sets of titles, because you're going to have the same four teams fighting each other. This is why Motor City Machine Guns,
I didn't even
kind of
there was a tag there was a tag team championship match tonight. I didn't even remember who the tag team champions were.
Damian Priest and R-Truth over Motor City Machine Guns.
I did not remember.
And they faced Matt and Tonga. No, JC Mateo. I'm sorry, Matt. But it's like, and again, you have the Gorillas of Destiny. Why are they not fighting together? Like, you have them.
Dude, we gotta put the MFT paint on that one show, and then just tell the people we got JC Mateo on the show.
Fake it till you make it. We got JC Mateo on the show.
I know I'm fat, but not that fat.
No, he's a muscular, stocky guy like you. Like I'm fat. Like you're JC Mateo, bro. JC Mateo. He's still around.
Oh man.
He still didn't get cut. Tongaloa's still around.
Hey, the MFTs made it this round. Hey, Michin is in a good story right now. Michin is cooking.
Kairi Sane was in a good. That's another one. She could have been a stepping stone in the IC title. She was in a storyline. They said, get her out of here. There's the door.
In regards to Santos Escobar, that was kind of surprising to me because they've been using him a lot on AAA.
Mm-hmm.
I know same thing with the Garzas, but they obviously made the cut. Santos Escobar, he does have star. I do agree with you. He does have star written all over him. Just never got that chance on the main roster. He was cooking in NXT before he got called up. And then, lately just been doing this thing on AAA, which I thought keeping him would have, gave the AAA another star to work with.
I think he never got the shot because if he did get a big push and did start, getting over at that level, it would have kind of felt like he was a baby Lucha Roman Reigns. and it's like you can't have two characters that kind of have that same look and aura about them, kind of doing the same stuff. So I think they did him a favor.
Yeah. Okay. Imagine being Zoe Stark right now.
We joked about this earlier. She's been on the shelf longer than Anthony Davis.
Dude, her leg snapped.
She's sitting at home recovering.
She's doing the leg stretch. Like, I'm almost back. I'm gonna make a contribution. oh, hey Hunter, how's it going? I guess I could stop rehabbing this fucking leg then, because. Jeez.
What was that stable called? The something collective?
Pure Fusion
Collective. The stud line.
The stud line.
Well, they're pure fusion collecting them
unemployment checks.
Unemployment
checks.
Yeah, that's a lot of cuts, man. A lot of bad. For me, a lot of bad decisions.
It was a huge Black Friday. Yeah.
Was one of the ones from NXT that got cut, was one of them that Olympian that they've been using?
What's his name?
Her name,
Tyra May Steele?
Yeah, I think she's gone.
Here, I'll give you the names, Matt. Tyson DuPont, Tyreek Igwa, Luca Crucifino, Tyra May Steele, Malik Blade, Chris Island, Serena Linton, Trill London, Francois Prinsloo.
Okay, the Malik Blade, that wasn't surprising to me because he hasn't done anything since his partner got released last year.
Oh. Well, then it was a matter of time.
Idris Enofe,
yeah.
I believe was.
I said it wrong. I'm sure of it.
Yeah, but if they got rid of Tyra May Stevens, oh, dude, she was talented.
Yeah, interesting.
I think she won that one that one show on A&E with like Undertaker.
Just another one of the shows you got to watch. Evolve and this show and that one. Yeah. Nothing worse than SmackDown.
All right. Well, so speaking of SmackDown, I know it's Black Friday, but there was a SmackDown show tonight. Believe it or not, they gave us a show. Show is probably pushing the limits of what this was we got tonight, but let's get into it nonetheless. So, I think the top story coming out is they're continuing this Bloodline feud. So Monday night, Raw ended with Jacob Fatu essentially challenging Roman Reigns for the World Heavyweight Championship. saying that he needs everything Roman's got, and it didn't fly. Like Roman's like didn't accept the challenge or anything yet. He's just like, you can't beat me. And then he says, but even if you can beat me, are you ready for this?
Yeah.
And so that was the lead in to tonight, to where Jacob is coming in and he's saying that, people have told him his entire life he's not ready. He's not good enough. He's not better than this one. He'll never do this. So now he's coming to take it pretty much. He's taking it all, like Solo's theme song says, but this is Jacob Fatu actually saying it. And as he's laying this out there, the Usos come out. It almost felt like he was trying to call out Roman, like there was a chance in hell that Roman was going to work 3 dates in a calendar week. Come on, like Roman ain't there for you. He told you he'll see you Monday. So again, to keep things going, we've got the Usos, which when they came out, I guess this was a firm answer to whether the Bloodline are going to be positioned as heels or baby faces. They are firmly heels. Jimmy Uso was talking that shit in heels, basically saying, don't listen to the fans. They don't know what's best. We know what's best. And they're going right back to OG Bloodline, like everything. That's what they're gonna be. So I thought I walked out of Monday not being sure what this looks like, because Roman's never changed his character since he's come back. He changed his little theme song and got the OTC one, but he's still been an asshole. He's still a dick. Like, he's still arrogant. He's still full of himself. He still, wants everybody to acknowledge him. He's never changed one bit. And I'm glad they didn't. I'm glad they didn't go back to no hybrid, what do you got? Hybrid big
Yeah.
dog types character. I'm glad they continued with that, because this is where he is at his best. Solo then comes out, and Solo's like, when nobody wanted to take a chance on you, they didn't want nothing to do with you. I brought you to the WWE. You're here because of me. And he's like, you need backup to beat Roman. And so, Jacob's like, I don't need none of y'all. Pretty much like he's stuck between two sides of the family. And he's like, but I don't need none of y'all. He wants to be the person to do it on his own. And he wants to go for the World Heavyweight Championship, which I don't understand how a SmackDown superstar, unless they're being traded, because I left Monday Night Raw. I don't know about y'all. I left Monday Night Raw under the impression that Nick Aldis and Adam Pearce came to some sort of trade, and we're getting Jacob Fatu on Raw, and we're getting CM Punk on SmackDown. But there's no semblance of that coming out of SmackDown, because, of course
Yeah.
not. Like, SmackDown doesn't know how to tell stories at all. What did you guys think of this?
MVP, you want to go?
OG Bloodline. They're going back to the well. Try to drink off the well. Maybe hasn't completely dried up, but they're adding more family into it. Um, will Roman and Jacob uh, cook? I think they will. But
Absolutely.
yeah, but they're building to a heel, back to the heel bloodline, and then is Jacob trying to be dragged to the bloodline side, or the MFT side again. Uh,
Hmm.
I mean, what we've gotten so far, I don't know what to think. Need a little bit more here. But I do like Roman and Jacob. We're finally gonna get the match since he's been on in WWE that we wanted to
Hmm.
see.
I think that I mentioned this on the show a bunch of times, and MVP laughs when I say it, but They need to do another draft shortly. And they need to do it where this is the brand you're on. You're not locked to it. You could show up on a Raw, but your main matches are going to always happen here. Because then you're not tied to, we only have these characters to work with. Because what happened with Jade Cargill in the women's title last year? There was no one for her to feud with. If you have that caveat of where this is your main show, but obviously if you got beef with someone, go handle that. And you are always, it's like in school. You have your homeroom, then you go to other side rooms, like do other projects, but you're always going to come back to this room. That's where you're supposed to be. That's what that should be. But with the Jacob Fatu thing and all that, I think the biggest selling point from Solo should have been the only way you'll never get cut is you need to be an MFT. Because none of us got cut. But I'm just kidding. So, no, with Jacob, I didn't expect to see him on SmackDown. I'm not a fan of him rehashing this, like, I'm going to fight Solo because he's here. It's like, it just doesn't make sense. And with him and Roman, there's no threat of him beating Roman. So I'm kind of worried about what are you going to do with Jacob after this? Because he's going to lose, unless he wins and the Usos turn on Roman. But Roman didn't win this title at Mania to lose it on a Backlash or a Clash in Italy. It's going to be a SummerSlam or it's going to be a Mania. Roman's going to be around. So I don't know what you do with Jacob after this. And if he falls in line with the Bloodline and says, well, I'll just be here with you guys, then that takes his character down a notch. Now you're not a main event person anymore. Now you're a background guy. So I don't know what to make of it yet. Still early stages, but I'm excited for the match. I just expect shenanigans.
Yeah. I would like to believe that the writing team would be smart enough to do what I feel is the right thing, and that's to have Jacob somehow form his own bloodline, have the Usos turn on Roman, and then they leave with Jacob. Maybe he doesn't win the title yet, but he's there with him, and then that is how you kind of keep Roman as a baby face, because right now he's about to go full-fledged heel. So but then it almost feels like they're teasing that Tama Tonga is going to leave, and then is he going to join Jacob, or is there going to be three different bloodlines? You're going to have a Jacob bloodline, a
This is the
Solo
NWO
bloodline, and
all
then a
over
Roman
again. The
bloodline.
Wolfpack and the Black and White and
And that's what and that's exactly what I'm afraid of. I'm afraid that they're going to do the worst of it and make it this, Wolfpack Red and Wolfpack South, and so
my question is, with you, you're okay with Jacob going back to a heel so soon?
I mean, I feel like, so there was that time where I don't know if you remember, sometime last year, it was announced that WWE was going to do a heavy push for, I believe it was Rhea Ripley, Jacob Fatu, and then there was one other person that they were going all in on, like with merch, with everything. I feel like Jacob was super hot then, but then when he got attacked, he got cooled off. Like he doesn't have that same, and he hasn't gotten that pop back. That pop he was getting around that time, he has not got it back. They had that one SmackDown where he showed up like in the police car. It was like some Stone Cold-esque type booking that they did. He was getting huge pops, but after he got his teeth redone or whatever he did, he's come back, like he has not gotten that same reaction. So in my opinion, it's better to be a heel getting feverishly booed, like we're going to talk about here in a second with another set of characters that got booed, than getting like this mild good pop when you were getting huge ovations a few months ago. So sometimes that's like a telltale sign that, hey, maybe it is time for a heel. Because when the crowd will tell you what they want you to be, when they stop popping a certain way, they're cooling you off. And now it's probably time to start thinking of a heel turn. The crowd has turned Sami Zayn heel. Sami Zayn hasn't done shit wrong. Well, until now. Like, now he's starting to do some wrong shit. But he really hadn't done anything wrong to really get anyone to boo him. He didn't hit anybody in the back with a chair like he did Roman in 2023 that everybody went crazy for. He hasn't done anything like that. But the crowd will tell you what they need you to do. You just got to listen. Your writers have to listen.
That's the. I have one thing here. So, raise your hand. Did anyone watch the Hulk Hogan documentary?
I'm midway through it.
Okay, so there's an episode Hollywood Hulk Hogan, and we know this, but hearing it again on the documentary gave me a really good rebuttal to MVP from a previous episode. So, what you just said, Jarvis, is you got to listen to the fans. They'll tell you. Like Cody Rhodes has been this character for 4 years, for example, right? And people are starting to boo him. Same with Sami Zayn. After the Bloodline thing, he's cooled his jets, and people are starting to boo him. What did we learn from this documentary? Is Hulk Hogan, again, we know this, but like hearing him say it is like people were over the red and yellow. No matter how much I went out there and did it, like Vince is like, it's the run's over. Then when he went to WCW, that parade he had was staged. Everyone out there was actors. There was no interest in red and yellow Hulk. But when he turned heel, he was still the main guy of WCW. He still was that guy selling merch, but people were like, oh, this is badass. Like, I like this Hulk Hogan. If you were to turn Cody into like a Homelander heel, it would do buco's amount of good for him, and the crowd would actually probably cheer him and like want to buy a lot of his merch. I know you don't want a heel to be cheered, but getting a huge reaction is all worth it. Any reaction is good, right? So with all these things going on, like if you're with Sami Zayn too, if you're cooling your jets and it's just been going on for too long, you got to really think about a heel turn. It really could save your career. It saved Hulk Hogan's career for 8 more years in WCW. You know,
I got one thing that kind of negates your that theory though.
Okay, hit me.
John Cena.
Who else was gonna do it though? Then, like, be that main babyface. Their talent pool was a lot less than now. If John Cena turned heel, then your biggest babyface would have been Alberto Del Rio. Like now, if Cody would have double turned with Orton at Mania, he would have been the hottest heel right now, and Orton could have been that really dominant baby face to get revenge on him.
It would have been right back.
Talent for that. And again, my point, even if you turn Cody heel, MVP's argument is, well, who's going to be the guy if he turns heel? He could be the guy as a heel because Hulk Hogan proved you could do it in a fumbling company that was not even good as WWE then.
Well, then why couldn't Cena be the guy as a heel?
Because Vince McMahon was booking it. He didn't turn Hogan heel.
I see what Matt's saying, because when you turn somebody heel like that, the company will naturally build up a baby face that they want to defeat them. It'll happen. It just naturally, you'll find this person that, because WCW was in the same spot. It wasn't like they had to refresh Sting. They had to give him a whole new gimmick. Like, you had to, and because the fans did not want the same old surfer Sting. They wanted something, so you had to reinvent the wheel. That's where Goldberg was birthed. Goldberg was birthed out of, they built him up with the win streak, and his whole thing was to defeat the NWO Hulk Hogan, and that thing happened naturally. It'll happen. There, especially now. There's so much. Again, to Travis's point, that roster we had with John Cena was terrible, and there was no. I think they were still using is it OVW as the feeder system, and that didn't work. I mean, after you cleared out Batista and Lesnar and all them from that OVW class, Randy Orton and all them, like, OVW wasn't pumping them out like that, right? We didn't, and so now with NXT and the system they got now in the pipeline, like, there's never an excuse not to do it now, because there will definitely be someone else right there ready.
I mean, you guys are saying the talent pool back then with John Cena wasn't good. I kind of disagree with you guys. So you mentioned Batista, you mentioned Orton, Undertaker is still there, Edge. There's a bunch of guys. What a Ziggler that they didn't push at all
until he was with Cena in the Survivor Series match.
But
um
Cena was on Raw. SmackDown,
yeah.
it felt like SmackDown was always slightly better because Undertaker was normally on SmackDown, Rey Mysterio was normally on SmackDown, uh, Angle was on SmackDown. On Raw, you at one point you had Jack Swagger as the
Suffering.
champion.
World champion.
You mentioned it, Dolph Ziggler, and no disrespect, I like Dolph Ziggler, but like,
And you had Zack Ryder.
I don't know.
Woo woo woo.
All right, no, all right. Ziggler.
Mark Henry got a
Yeah.
run, and Mark Henry deserved a run, but at that
No,
point, I don't know.
I'm just saying that the talent pool isn't as weak as you guys are like letting
No,
on.
like, okay, to be fair, before we go back to SmackDown here, but like the talent pool wasn't atrocious, right? You had talent, but now you have way more main event caliber stars that could compensate a heel turn for somebody. Like back then, if Cena turned heel, there was no top baby face that could really go against him. And I think that's a good argument if that's your argument. But now, like, you could easily like have any one of these people, like Obafemi's here now, and Trick Williams is here now, and you have a lot of people that can be main event level to combat a heel. You know, is my point. Is no, the roster wasn't just John Cena, no one else, but it wasn't like a lot of main event talent that could also compensate that heel turn either. And Vince McMahon was booking it. So
And you got the Make a Wish Foundation kids situation that they were not willing to relent on. All the merch he sold, like the Fruity Pebble merch, like it. Sorry, when Vince finds a merchandise seller like that, that's what Hulk Hogan
yep,
was for all
that's what
those
he was.
years. He was the merchandise seller. Like, I think they, correct me if I'm wrong, and they may have talked about it in the documentary, but like, I think Hogan was like the first one that was selling merch,
Yeah.
like toys and shit like that. Like, that was what, so Vince gonna lean on that, and that's why he had the belt for so long, because they were selling spinner belts like crazy.
And yeah,
You're not gonna have the Undertaker walking around with a fucking spinner belt.
he locked that thing in the back. He turned the lock.
But back to SmackDown. So that angle ended up setting up the main event we got, which was Solo Sikoa versus Jacob Fatu. Jacob Fatu got the win, of course. You got to book him strong coming out of this, because Monday he's got to face off against the OTC. Um, there was a segment in the back where the Usos basically said, "Hey, you're gonna need our help, blah blah blah, because MFTs never come alone, yada yada yada." Jacob Fatu says, "I do not want your help. I don't want your help. I don't need your help." You think the Usos listen? No, they came down the ringside anyway. They didn't help, but they just observed. Jacob Fatu looked pretty strong because he took out everybody, and that's kind of how the show ended. Um, that's it. That's all I got on that. But the second biggest story coming out of this are the NXT call ups that we're going to get. So we got a major one tonight, which we're going to talk about here in a second. But coming soon, we got Blake Monroe, and Ricky Saints is going to make his debut next week. I was disappointed that this show is 3 hours long and we didn't actually get him on this show. Did not make sense, but he will be debuting next week. I think that's gonna hopefully help, at least expands the roster a little bit. And Ricky Saints is super talented. But the debut we did get tonight was Fatal Influence. And these ladies had the best work on the entire show. There was a match that was set up between the new women's tag team champions of Paige and Brie Bella and Alexa Bliss and Charlotte. This match, before it even get kicked into second gear, Fatal Influence makes their presence known and they attack them. And mind you, this is 3-on-4, because you got Paige, Brie Bella, and then you got Alexa and Charlotte. And Fatal Influence comes in and cleans house. You would think they were the female Shield, the way they came out and cleaned house with these women, and then they walk back down the ramp just as cocky as ever. They and JC James spoke to him on the mic first. She did come out. She did do some talking. Every time JC talked on the mic, you could not hear. It was the boos were tremendous. We see them again during Rhea Ripley's match that she had. Well, actually, she cut a promo and ended up having a match with JC Jane. But it was her cutting a promo, basically establishing her presence that she's on SmackDown and she's going to be a fighting champion and all the Rhea Ripley baby face things that she's going to say. And then she's interrupted by Fatal Influence. They face off, and then that led to a match. But the match was what it was, but and it ended in DQ because Fatal Influence attacked and left Rhea just laid out. But the heat that they got, this is how you make a debut. This is how you make an impact because I believe when you have NXT call ups at these live shows, especially following WrestleMania, there's probably a lot of casuals in the audience. So about half of your crowd's going to be familiar and half of them aren't. But when you make a statement like this, because I'll be honest, when the Shield debuted, I didn't know who the hell they were.
Yeah.
But they were important from the minute they were on my screen because of the presence that they made. And this was the same way that Fatal Influence made their debut. Even if you don't know who the hell they are, you left tonight wanting to see more of them because of their work. They were calculated, they were together, they were ready for the moment. JC Jane was reacting to the crowd. She just was like, when as they're booing, she's like, I got time, I'll wait. Like she knew what to do with the heat. I was very impressed with Fatal Influence. MVP, I know you're the NXT guy. Give me your take on what you saw tonight.
Oh, Fatal Influence. So each member they've been on NXT for quite some time now. JC Jane, she was in another faction called I'm blanking on a name right now. Toxic Attraction.
Mm,
This is kind of an offshoot of that, but she kind of made it her own with her as the leader now. And Fallon Henley, both of them, they've been main roster ready for a while now. I mean, JC Jane, 2-time NXT champ, 1-time TNA champ, held the belts at the same time.
Mm.
Uh, but
wow.
but
That's right. That's
yeah,
right.
but these ladies have been main roster ready for quite some time now. I'm glad they held off on calling them up because now they got their seasoning. They've been at the top on NXT, so they know what it's like to be on top, to hold it down on top. And now they're in a new environment now, and they know what to do. Like you said, they know what they're doing, and it shows. So ex- excellent call ups. I thought initially it would only be JC Jane getting called up, but I love they're having the whole faction getting called up.
Yeah. Yeah.
And they made an
So
impact.
for like, I don't watch NXT as much as you, but like a year ago, JC Jane was one of those like, we don't really know what we got,
Hmm.
but within a year, she made herself very known, like especially with her mic work, getting that heel, the heat and all that.
Mhm.
Very good at that tonight. You couldn't, like Jarvis said, you couldn't hear a
Well,
word that she was saying.
well, the thing about her was when she was in Toxic Attraction, she was kind of like the third woman in that group because you got Mandy Rose as the
Hmm.
leader,
Hmm.
and
Hmm.
then you have Gigi Dolan, who's known for her work on the Independents as Priscilla Kelly. So once she got out of their shadow, she was able to develop her own, and she really thrived when she got into her new faction.
And it was a good call up to go up against Rhea, because it was like now. So to compare that, Sol Ruka got called up on Monday, and that was a great call up for the wrong person. It should not have been Liv Morgan. It should have been Becky Lynch. Is what she should have been called up to do. It would have been a good, like mirror of AJ Lee. Like, she won the title and Paige came out and beat her for it. Becky Lynch could have came out and unintentionally become AJ Lee, where she gets beat by Sol Ruka. That would have been good for me. But to compare that to here, with contrast here, JC Jane going up against Rhea was the right call. This was how you have them come in, is already main event ready. Like, we can go into this division and dominate, like a Rhea Ripley. Like, how's she going to overcome us? And the only problem is you do have Jade and the baddies too. So now you got 2-3 women faction things. So maybe Jade and the baddies should move to Raw. I don't know, but unless they're going to be like the MFTs and Wyatt 6 and just battle each other for 9 months.
Well,
Please, God, no.
If they move to Raw, they can duke it out with the Judgment Day.
Too many factions, but yeah, no, JC Jane, good call up though.
Yeah.
And you did mention next week Ricky Saints.
Yep.
Ooh, I mean, I read something. I don't know if it's true or not. That CW kind of wants one of those veteran ready main roster guys to stand their brand for a little bit. I don't know any truth to that, but Ricky Saints, he signed being ready.
Yeah,
I think we all saw that when he was in AEW.
I saw that in NWA Power.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay.
But yeah. So consensus with the three of us, he was main roster ready from the jump. Yep. So to get his debut next week, it's gonna be huge. Who else did you say who's gonna debut next week?
Blake. We don't know when she's gonna debut, but it is said coming soon. Blake Monroe.
Okay. Another one, main roster ready from the jump. I mean, she spent her final days in AEW as either their champ or vying for the championship.
Yep.
And then came into NXT, just automatically loved from the jump. And yeah, she's definitely main roster ready. I didn't think it'd be her so soon, but I like the call up. One person that I wish would be called up was Zarya. I thought Zarya is main roster ready, but they need people down there still to hold it down and elevate everyone up before they come down up to the main roster.
Yep.
And then she's just had this nasty feud with Sol Ruka, so they probably want to keep them apart just for a little bit, to stagger it a little bit, because they were a tag team and you break them up. Yep. So yeah, it makes sense to kind of stagger it. But Zarya is ready too, man.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, a woman that does the F5. Come on now.
Fun fact about Blake Monroe: her final matches in AEW already showed she was main roster ready with Tony Storm over there. Like, those matches were brutal, and
that match was ridiculous.
Such a good feud, but yeah.
It was the Hollywood, what do you call it? The Hollywood finale or something?
Like that. Yeah, it was a crazy match.
That was a crazy match. All right. So we got a new women's U.S. champion crown tonight. Tiffany Stratton. She defeated Julia. Now, this time last year, Tiffany Stratton was our women's world champion. This year, she doesn't make the Mania card, and she is excited about winning the U.S. championship from Julia. Now, I don't know how to frame this, but you remember when John Cena was had that epic promo with Roman Reigns where he pretty much buried him, and he said, when you are the U.S. champion, you took it as a demotion.
Yeah.
I hear John Cena, but you also shouldn't be that fucking excited when you were a WrestleMania main event, if you want to call that match a women's championship a main event at Mania, to now defeating Julia on a random SmackDown after Mania. That is a demotion.
Yeah.
And my only, I think Tiffany Stratton she got star written all over her. She's already been a champion. The only thing that I feel is eluding her is her mic work a little bit. She opened up an episode of SmackDown probably 8 weeks ago now. And I'm like, what the fuck? Because she's just not over enough to have that spot. Like, you open up a SmackDown or a Raw with a promo, you've got to have somebody, CM Punk, Cody Rhodes. Jacob Fatu did a pretty decent job tonight, but you got to have Drew McIntyre, somebody that's going to either generate a lot of heat to get the crowd hot that way, or generate a lot of positive energy. So somebody that's just really going to cook on the mic. So she needs some work there, but I don't see her as a mid card title person.
No.
Where y'all?
Okay, so Tiffany Stratton, I think her inexperience is really showing now. So she missed a whole bunch of time through to
Right.
injury, and then re-debuted at the Royal Rumble. I think I said she's showing her inexperience, and you mentioned that SmackDown that she opened. I think she thought automatically she'd still be in that same spot that she was in before she got injured,
Mm-hmm.
especially with the fans. But this really is a classic case of out of sight, out of mind.
Yeah.
And the other thing I failed to mention is I feel she's a little miscast. She should be a heel.
Oh,
She's
for
like a
sure.
natural. She's like a natural, and I don't mean to disrespect women, but she's a natural
Yeah.
bitch.
Yeah.
Like, so, and she has to try really hard to be
Yeah.
Barbie pretty, baby face. And so I think if she was a heel, that whole situation I'm talking about from, 8 weeks ago is totally different, because she'll come out there and generate some heat as, it's Tiffy time. That should be some heel shit. Like,
Yeah.
you're full of yourself. Like, you know what I mean?
Oh, for sure.
Travis, what are your thoughts?
So when she was getting all that attention, when the crowd was really, hot for her, like in a heat kind of way, she was a heel. And when she became babyface and a
Mhm.
champion, it just tapered off to where, like, yeah,
Mhm.
she's champion. Like, I never looked at her run as like, oh my God, this is must see. And I think you're 100% right. Is her character, her personality is a heel, and she needs to be that. And with Julia, this is the second time that they don't know how to book her properly. And I think that in this run with Julia, Kiana James got the most out of it, because she
Kiana James
got to
got
show
more
her
over.
talent. And what I think they need to do with Julia now, Julia needs to become a baby face and show her in-ring work, kind of like an Io Sky, kind of like be the Io Sky of SmackDown.
Yeah, Kiana needs to turn heel on her.
And with Tiffany, like, you need to be heel, and you need to. It's kind of like the opposite of Trick Williams. Trick Williams is a heel, but like everyone loves him and wants him to be face.
Right.
She's a face. Everyone just wants her to be a heel because that's her character, and just follow that. Like you said earlier, you perfectly said, listen to
your crowd.
And we will 100% be behind a heel Tiffany US title run where she can help elevate other people before she goes back to the main title picture. That's what I think. She should be a heel for sure.
But listening to the audience is something that WWE either does really quickly or are very, very stubborn to. How many years did they not listen to the crowd with Roman Reigns?
They're hypocrites, because did we all watch? I asked you about the Hulk Hogan thing. Anyone watch WWE Unreal? Yeah.
Yep.
What did Triple H say? Well, we have a plan,
gotta pivot.
and when things happen and the crowd responds a certain way, you gotta pivot that way. You gotta listen to them. When have you ever done that? Never. The only thing you did to pivot was you fired your best friend because he can't book a damn show for the life of him, and it's still not getting booked good. So
The only time they listen to the audience is when they brought R-Truth back to cut his hair and go back to catering.
dog, he literally came in to cut his hair, and now he's thinking Danhausen is Asuka.
And send him back to catering.
No serious Ron Killings run this time.
Nope. All right. So then we had a Cody Rhodes promo, and this promo was a wait. He had one job tonight, and that was to waste my time. I don't know why. I don't know what I did to that man, but he wasted my time tonight. He came out and he pretty much said, you know, he went through a war at WrestleMania. And but he's not here to talk about, he walked out still champion, but he's still Cody Rhodes. And he debuted 4 years ago in Texas at about 4 years ago to this date. And that he's going to be a fighting champion, and he doesn't care if it's an NXT call up, he doesn't care if it's a return, if it's a Raw guy, if it's a SmackDown guy. He's ready to defend his championship.
Which is wild. Randy Orton punted his head off, and you automatically think this feud is continuing, but he's like, oh, well, whoever else.
Well, Randy didn't show up on SmackDown, so well, fuck you, man. On to the next
That
one.
would have been a good segment to bring in a debuting Ricky Saints.
Oh.
That would have been the segment to do it.
Oh, yes.
You took the words out of my mouth. You took the words out of my mouth. That was absolutely the segment to do that. And the thing is, Ricky Saints is ready for that moment.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
He would have came out and they would have had a classic that we would be talking a lot more fondly about Cody Rhodes' presence on this show had that happened. WWE writing team. I thoroughly enjoy Cody Rhodes most of the time. But here's the thing. I felt like they've been planting seeds that Cody Rhodes is turning heel, or there was no indication of that at all tonight. Even if the Ricky Saints thing doesn't happen, if Cody Rhodes comes out and cuts a solo promo, it should have been veering on that heel side. He could have been, because even on Monday Night Raw, he felt like he was going to be more of the heel in this exchange with CM Punk. You could have added to that. Punk, how dare you, I show up on your show and you don't even have the balls to show up tonight. He could have done something to give us a little more layer of that, but it was just it was literally, he had to make an appearance tonight. Check. There was literally nothing, and it's like they didn't give him anything to say. They just like, hey, you got to make an appearance tonight. And he's just like, hey, it's on my deal. I got to show up tonight. Whatever. But it was not advancing any storylines. It wasn't adding any layers to his character. And I'm sorry, that's what promos are for. They are for setting up feuds, continuing storylines, or adding layers to your character. This did absolutely nothing for Cody Rhodes.
No, it did not. I'm trying to look for it real quick, the exact quote. I'm looking at his promo here. What did he say right here in the beginning? Forgive me for this, but he said the people that are trying to interject in his plans, they're 0-3, and they should sit back and count their money and mind their own damn business. So that's the only thing I pulled out of here that, like, I wonder who he's talking about. Are we still talking about this TKO WWE thing that him and Punk were going off the cuff with? That's the only thing, but it was a literally blink and you'll miss it thing he said. It wasn't like he made his promo about that.
Because I think I blinked because I missed that.
He said for the people that want to interject, because he beat Randy Orton, he's still champion, and for the people trying to interject in my plans, they're 0-3. Sit back, count your money, and mind your damn business. So again, they're 0-3. The Rock and Roman and now Pat McAfee. I'm taking that as a TKO reference. Are we planting seeds for a TKO versus WWE thing this summer, and Survivor Series is Team TKO and Team WWE. I've seen a lot of that, but I know it's better than the MFTs and Wyatt 6. That's all I can tell you.
It is. Okay, count my blessings. I count my blessings.
But that's the only noteworthy, like you said. The rest of the promo, again, blink and you'll miss it. He said one cool thing, and the rest was just a snooze fest.
Well, on Black Friday, we had all these cuts. Yet, Little Yachty is still on my show.
With the gingerbread man.
So Trick Williams comes out with the gingerbread man and Little Yachty. I am not making this up. Guys, can you verify this so the viewers don't think I'm pulling their legs?
No.
He came out with the gingerbread man and Little Yachty.
This is not a segment you show a non-wrestling fan and be like, this will get you into wrestling.
Okay. By a show of hands, who likes Trick Williams? Who thinks keep your hands up if you think Trick Williams has star written all over him.
2 hands.
Keep your hands up if you think like he is the best SmackDown acquisition we've had in a while. Why does he need Little Yachty each and every freaking week?
Because he's a heel?
I thought we were done. I thought we were done with this. And yes, they are trying to double down on him being a heel. The people don't want to boo this guy. No. And stop not listening to your audience. Your audience is cheering this guy. I said it on a prior episode. Everybody should be the best version that they can be. And whatever and let the fans decide whether that's a baby face or a heel. That's what they did with Rock. That's what they did with Austin. They let the fans decide. There was that weird era where everybody was kind of, it was like 97, 98, where Undertaker started kind of getting booed, and, Austin's getting cheered like crazy, and Bret Hart's getting booed. But all these characters were at their best in those in the role that they were playing. They were all killing it. We got Trick Williams. If the fans love Trick Williams, let him do. He does not need anyone talking for him. He doesn't need a Paul Heyman. He doesn't need a Mouth of the South. He damn sure don't need a Little Yachty.
No, I mean
Trick Williams. Trick Williams is the promo.
He is.
Like Trick Williams is like you would have never had who was a popular rapper when The Rock. You would have never had Fabulous coming out talking for The Rock.
Absolutely not.
No. And actually, to that point, Trick Williams, I've said it before on the show, he is the modern day Rock. Because he's just naturally great on the mic. He's good in the ring.
Let's talk about
He's so witty, like just the things he says. Like when he was talking to Sami Zayn right before Mania, and he goes, "What you gonna do, Sammy? Attack me? There ain't a safe water bottle back there with you. You snapping on these water bottles." Like he's just real good. He is the Rock of this generation. He doesn't need Lil Yachty. Although I am gonna pivot a little. I don't like Lil Yachty being there every week, but at least he is entertaining to a degree, unlike a Travis Scott or something that we've gotten in the past. He is kind of funny to be out there, but
I am not a single bit entertained by Lil Yachty.
Very little. I'm not saying it's a keep him out there, but
I'm not even a little. The only thing keeping the TV on is Trick Williams.
Let's talk about it.
Of all the celebrity appearances we got over the last several weeks, he is. When you do your next power ranking, I want you to do celebrity power ranking. Lil Yachty better be number 5 on that fucking celebrity, because Pat McAfee was better than Lil Yachty. Yep. Jelly Roll is better than Lil Yachty. I Show Speed is better than Lil Yachty. Like
that's facts.
Yeah. Well, that leaves us with our friend that lives next to the Munsters, apparently, Danhausen. He lives at 1311 Mockingbird Lane.
You said something that I had an I Love Lucy reference on this show. I'm like, yeah, now we're getting a Munsters reference on here. That's good.
Danhausen had a match with the Miz. Danhausen, they debuted him all fucked up, but he's very entertaining. There's just he is the comedy segment we missed, because all we've had is you know Johnny Gargano planking on the crate, and like we just had dumb stuff like that. Our Truth doing the commercials for ESPN, but this guy is actually providing comedy that actually works. It's funny, it's entertaining. He curses people, and you want to see what comes of the curse. Like it's great, and because he curses people and he just floats around the lower mid card, he beats the Miz. He beats Kit Wilson. He wins all his matches because he curses people. But I we also saw AEW crown Darby Allin champion. Are we at some point going to get to the point where Danhausen's going to be elevated to a different
No
level?
chance we see Danhausen squash CM Punk in a title match like Darby Allin squashed MJF.
I would love to see just not him as a champion. Nothing. I don't. That's not necessary. But I would like. We got these Saturday nights main events. I would love to see him like curse somebody and mess around and get a championship match against Gunther or something one time on a Saturday night's main event. Just to do something with him that's different that would be entertaining. He would be fun in a championship match because he would run around. He'd do crazy stuff and kind of get into like a Gunther's head. It would be good storytelling, but it obviously wouldn't amount to shit. Like you don't put the belt on him, but like a one-off thing that would be kind of fun to watch. But because he knows what to do with the moments. Every time he's on camera, he knows what to do with the moments, and he's a natural comedian. And I don't know if you've ever seen him without the makeup and like kind of in. He's an entertaining guy in a regular sense too. So he's just a natural. He's one of CM Punk's good friends, and when I heard he brought him in, I was a little like, but you should know CM Punk has good taste.
Yeah, what would be cool is what you said with instead of like him cursing a Gunther, it would be really cool if like at some point this year Gunther were to win like the IC title, and when Danhausen is about to curse someone, they lift the title and he actually curses the title, and then if Gunther's the champion, like as long as he holds that title, everything goes wrong for him. Like he's not better than other wrestlers. Like he has to get rid of the championship to uncurse his in-ring work. That would be something cool. But as much as I love Danhausen, for a SmackDown after Mania, that was so much filler with him in Miz's house and hitting him in the balls with a golf simulator. I'm like, okay, what are we doing like in his house? Like,
Yeah.
like I'm not gonna knock Danhausen for it. That's his character, but save that for like next week. This is like everyone wants a hot show tonight, and we're seeing him fuck around with Miz in his house, throwing chocolate on Maurice.
But that's exactly why I said I can't believe we didn't get Ricky Starks tonight. like there was so much. We got a champion, a champion, a tag team championship match that I forgot who the fucking tag team champions were. But Ricky Saints wasn't on the show. This Andre the Giant Battle Royal winner didn't get a match on the show. Like what?
He got a vignette.
Dude, I've seen that vignette
He's
8
not.
times
He
already.
is not going to get over. He is not going to get over on those vignettes.
How many times are you going to talk about my family and where I came from? I understand. It's a great story.
That shit is not going to get you over. You're a 300-pound big old man. Nobody's going to give you sympathy for this shit. Like, he has to get over by killing people in the ring. That's the only way he's going to get over. He's
Obafemi if he was Cody Rhodes emotional.
I want to see him stop smiling.
Yes.
He needs to stop smiling and just be a fucking badass. With Danhausen, I do want one thing to happen. I want him to go to TNA and interact with Santino. I would love to see that.
Yeah, although him and R-Truth is pretty funny on TV when R-Truth thinks it's Asuka. Asuka going around cursing people.
But I also think about with Dan Housen, like how like many things he can make happen that you don't feel like you even need. But imagine, okay, we got Money in the Bank coming up in like September. He can curse somebody before the match, and then they're climbing up the fucking ladder. And then
The ladder
because they're
breaks.
cursed, they can't
Just splits in half.
And that makes everybody laugh in the middle of the
Yeah.
match, you know, like this.
Really tiny little off track thing, just because you mentioned Money in the Bank. Do you think CM Punk
Yeah.
wins it this year? Because he said you never know when
Money in the Bank?
said you never know when a title opportunity is going to just fall out of the sky. Well, the championship is up top. The briefcase he could go up and get, it could fall out of the sky.
Danhausen curses.
I hope Danhausen curses him. I don't want CM Punk winning Money in the Bank.
I'm just saying the little seed he planted. You never know.
No, I'm saying.
Yeah, you're right.
He curses the briefcase so it comes loose. And then it falls into CM Punk's.
Imagine the Miz and Money in the Bank reaching for the briefcase, and Danhausen curses him, and the briefcase goes higher. You can't reach it.
I don't feel like people like CM Punk need Money in the Bank. That's a tool for like a Logan Paul,
Oh God, no.
Dominic Mysterio, even LA Knight, like guys like that's who would be tailor made for. CM Punk can just roll up to SmackDown and tell Nick Aldis to get out of his way, and he's going to get a championship. Like it, it's more of a star making tool, and it's for somebody that I love when a heel has it, like a Logan Paul or like a Dominic Mysterio, because it makes them dangerous, and it keeps them interesting, and you just never know when they're going to show up. I mean, remember when Edge had it, like this ultimate opportunist, as they called him, right? Like those are those kind of people when they have Money in the Bank. It's great because you know they're going to pick the most fucked up moment.
Yeah.
Like, because when a babyface has it, they're like, I'm going to challenge you at SummerSlam. Why the fuck would you do that?
That's what John Cena did. He won it, and the next night he was, I'll see you next Monday. Like, what?
And it's like, dude, you have the license to wait till this dude has went through a last man standing match or a Hell in a Cell and just roll up and hit your finisher. You can most of the time they hit them with the briefcase. They walk up, you can hit the guy with the briefcase, then cash it in, hit your finisher. But no, you're gonna be like, no, I'm gonna cash it in at Backlash.
Vince McMahon booked the cash-ins better. Because he had Seth Rollins, Heist of the Century, that was during Vince's time. And I missed the Raws. Like, wasn't it Miz that cashed in on Randy Orton? When Orton was like selling the knee and his knee was given out, and then the Miz came out, and you just see the baby face like like shit. Like, I'm cooked. Like, and the same thing happened to Alberto Del Rio. He got cashed in by Dolph Ziggler. He was selling the knee, he was getting all banged up in the match, and then you hear the music and you're like, oh my God. It just like Damian Priest cashing against Drew. It was cool, but it really only set up Drew and Punk. It didn't really do much for Drew's
So correct
cash-in.
me if I'm wrong, or not even correct. I think I'm wrong here. Austin Theory won Money in the Bank, but he won Money in the Bank, and McMahon was still in power. But when he lost Money in the Bank, Triple H was in power by then, right?
Yeah, because didn't Austin
no?
Theory cashed in on the U.S. title?
He cashed it in for a U.S. Championship match and lost.
Because he was putting on the pressure.
No, but what was
when he
was that still? What was? I think it
I
was.
want to. Because I want to say I remember jokes about people saying that Triple H was like, "Fuck that." When
it was during a transitional, like where Vince was still around, but everyone's like, "Oh, Triple H is booking," and you're like, "He's not really." Like, it's still Vince back there.
I don't know if he was, because when
We got to check the timeline
when
on that.
Austin Theory had the briefcase, we had a returning Johnny Gargano. Did he return after Cody Rhodes re-debuted?
Okay, now you got the time. You done mixed me up on the. I don't even remember when Cody Rhodes returned. All I remember it was a WrestleMania, and he was a surprise and fought Seth,
Yeah.
and then they fought like 5 more times that year until Cody Rhodes fucking peck tore off his damn chest.
It was during a transitional time because it was 2022 that he won it.
Okay.
So it was right about the time where easing Vince out, easing Triple H in, and I think that it doesn't matter. We're so far off track here.
Yeah, we are.
Theory.
But any closing thoughts, guys, on SmackDown, on the cuts, on where we're going after following WrestleMania?
I mean, like you said, the cuts suck, but they need to happen. They do. As much as everyone hates it, everyone's losing their job. They need to happen so they can flourish elsewhere. Because if they just stayed, they're just going to be rotten in catering.
Yeah.
Yep.
I mean, but on the flip side of that, I'm glad that we can have different narratives because you need certain people that got cut to help get other talent over in divisions. Like Motor City Machine Guns could really help young upcoming tag teams flourish in that division. And Kairi Sane could help.
Low key, the Machine Guns, they were kind of in a story.
Yeah.
With Johnny Gargano.
And Candice LeRae.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well,
kind of.
First team all catering.
Okay, here's a quick question on the cuts. How is Johnny Gargano still there after Ciampa left?
Yeah, I'm really
I fully
surprised.
expected him to get cut. He was planking in the back, for God's sakes. Like, okay, they got no plan for him. And then he did say, like, I'm going to be Johnny Wrestling again and get squashed. It is what it is. But the cuts, they do need to happen, but you got to be a lot smarter about
They did kill him off. You're right, Travis.
He comes out, I'm going to be Johnny Wrestling. Oh, Obafemi. Throws him into the stratosphere. And then he planks again. The cuts have to happen, but you got to be smart about it. Like Santos Escobar, yes, let him go reinvent himself somewhere. But Apollo Crews could be.
I thought he could be still utilized in AAA.
He could be.
Like he has been.
But I mean, I guess the point I'm making is like certain people like Kairi Sane or Apollo Crews or Motor City Machine Guns, they would have done good to be not like I said, not a jobber, but someone that can like be beat and you don't have to risk, hurting someone else's character. Because now you got these cuts happening. All you have left are main event level people and they can only feud with each other. So unless you bring jobbers back, like local city wrestlers to like let Obafemi do like a 4-on-1 or whatever, that's the problem. But with SmackDown, definitely not as hot as Raw. There's some good moments to bring up, but it's about follow-up. Like we always say, how do you follow this up? Tiffany Stratton, let's follow this up with a heel turn. Let's give her something fresh to work with. Let's do something with Kiana and Julia. Like there's a lot of things you can be doing. Cody Rhodes can't come out here and phone home on these promos. Like I almost turned into Cody Rhodes tonight. I almost cried because I had to watch it. Like he cries when people talk about his dad. I almost cried that I had to watch that shit tonight. Yeah, I mean, we'll see. There are some good things, though. Trick Williams, as U.S. champion, is going to cook. He said no more open challenges. I don't got the door open for you. You got to come correct if you want a shot. Like that. I like that.
And then he should say no more to Lil Yachty.
Yeah.
Close the door
to your point, Travis, about being just left with main event talent. I was thinking about like what's going to happen with Obafemi now, right? Like he beat Brock Lesnar, needed to happen, but who now does he work with? Because everybody's saying, oh, it needs to be Gunther, oh, it needs to be Roman Reigns, oh, it needs to be Braun Breaker. No, it does not.
And all those people need wins.
Exactly. You if you beat any of those guys, it weakens the next guy. You can't beat Obafemi because he just beat Brock Lesnar. So But you can't beat Braun Breaker because Braun Breaker needs to feud with Seth Rollins. You can't have him beat Gunther because Gunther's the career killer and he needs to have a shot at Roman. You can't beat Roman because Roman just got the freaking belt. And then if you lose to Roman, it pushes you back down. So, like, where does he go? And it's like, does he go back to Rusev? Right? Because when I think about it, it's like the only kind of guys he should be fighting right now are like Sheamus, somebody
Yes.
that's a proven veteran that has wins, that has championships behind him. That way you can say he's beaten X amount of former WWE champions. He's done things like that. This is my second or third time mentioning him. Braun Strowman would come in handy right about now. Somebody that can work a good match with him, somebody that he won't mind putting over, and somebody that Braun Strowman would not like lose anything to that. Certain guys, like, they can work in those environments and those situations, and it doesn't do anything to them. And then, again, former world champion. You could bring in Omos from AAA to work with him. Those are the kind of guys he's got to work with to keep the beast present. But if you drop him back down to where he's fighting fucking Kit Wilson and, like, that's going to weaken him. So it's got to be. So you leave the pie for him to eat off of very limited, because it's either this group of elite main eventers that need to also protect themselves, or you got bottom feeders, or this very few, but we don't have anybody in the middle. Again, where's Sheamus? You can bring him in. But then, like, you don't want him killing a bunch of guys like Rey Mysterio
Yeah.
or a Dragon Lee, because now he's becoming a heel. So you're so
my
limited.
closing thought for you, and one more show of hands thing. We've been doing this a lot this episode. Who's played NBA 2K? PlayStation. Yeah, everyone has, right? What WWE has done, we've all done it. We're all guilty. You turn on franchise mode, you turn the trade off, like where people can counter your trade, and you stack your fucking team with like Jordan, Kobe, LeBron, Shaq, and then you're like, well, damn, I can only start 5. What do I do with Hakeem on the bench? When is he going to get playing time? Or what am I going to do with Tim Duncan on the bench? That's what WWE is doing right now. All you've done is collect the best of the best, and you have to have a good mix of, okay, who is the best going to beat to get to their feud? PLEs should be Oba versus Gunther, Oba versus Roman. But in the meantime, you need people like Sheamus and like all these people that they can beat, and you're cutting everybody. So it's like, you're going to cut everyone to do what? Bring up more superstars, Ricky Saints and Blake Monroe. And it's like, who are they all going to face?
More people that you can't beat. More people you can't beat.
Because now they're coming up and they're like, well, we need wins too now. We got to be credible. So it's just, I think WWE is just in a chaotic mess.
Matt Cardona's going to be busy.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. It's just crazy, dude. It's so crazy.
Matt Cardona's going to hear a lot of 1, 2, 3.
Hey, he's always ready.
All right. If you've made it this far, make sure you hit that like and subscribe button. Hit the notification bell so you can get up to date each and every time we drop new content. Also, look at that affiliates link we got. If you plan on buying any WWE merch, OTC's got some cool looking merch now. I see they've got some Oba Femi merch. So if you're going to get any of those products, use our affiliates link. You get the same deals that WWE Shop gets. We just get a kickback from it, and it helps us provide good content to you guys. Until then, this is Wrestling Brother Talk Smack, and we'll catch you next time.